Hey, what is going on? Hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. Hope your weekend will be amazing as well. And yeah, let's talk about today's topic. Let's talk about Sparking Zero and was it a flop? Now, since Sparking Zero came out, there has been a lot of stuff. When it first came out, it was going off. I was playing it. I still do play it, right? And also, I do apologize for I don't have any Sparking Zero gameplay in the background. Unfortunately, my laptop is fried. I can't save that. All the footage I had is gone now. I have to recreate a lot of videos that I was going to upload. So, it is what it is. Bad timing, I don't know. But let's talk about, let's just talk about the topic, right? But so Sparking Zero, when it first came out, it did what it did. I enjoyed it. I paid for like the Ultimate Edition, right? I think a lot of people did. And I think it had a million people on it on Steam. The game in total has sold about 5 million. I think by now it's at like 8, maybe even 7, who knows? Or more, who knows, right? This game is essentially Budokai Tenkaichi 4. We've waited 17 years for it, almost 18 years at the point of release. And, when we first saw it, everyone got hyped because it's Budokai Tenkaichi 4. But, it's called Sparking Zero. That's what they call it in Japan, right? It'd be called Sparking Zero. So, everyone was hyped. We're all hyped. Game comes out. Game was fun. I enjoyed it. Everyone had their issues. But if you guys remember, specifically, when I uploaded my videos, and you remember the interactions, some of you have been here for a minute, right? There's a lot of interactions that didn't make sense, a lot of interactions that were kind of plain. There was a lot of stuff that, you could tell that they had rushed it. And I think that was one big issue, was they rushed a lot of characters' interactions. I mean, because guys, believe it or not, interactions are a big part of the game. Because I think it's wild to see that Bardock and Radix don't have any dialogue at all. When you think about it, that kind of was weird to see. But it is what it is. There was that. Some people didn't really like that. It was a lot of reused lines from Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which isn't bad. I think that's perfectly fine. I just think that they should have... There was a lot of lines they didn't use. Some of the games from the Budokai series had interactions between Bardock. It was kind of odd, but it was what it was, right? So, Sparking Zero, when it first was getting shown off, everyone was loving it. And when it comes out, I saw the community, everyone was enjoying it, right? It was like we all were playing it. We saw everyone making content on it. Everyone was having fun with it, right? There was some people before the game came out like, oh, imagine it flops. The doom and gloomers, which I don't really like to say, man, because honestly, the game hasn't even come out yet. Everyone's pretty hyped for it. I was excited for it, right? And I still am. I still love it. It's just that now there are some issues, right? We have a lack of maps, a lack of characters that have not been, we haven't got any new characters. We haven't got any new maps. I know we've gotten the superhero characters we got from the movie, and then we also got daima characters coming soon, which is fine, right? But I kind of hate this. This is the one thing I don't like, right? Is that I love daima, right? I really do, but I feel like there's a lot of other characters they can get to before they can get to daima. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like in a way they should have just kind of... I feel like the movie characters, there's still quite a few missing. There's a lot of other characters from Dragon Ball missing. Because if you compare the roster from, because like I said, we're not going to take, we're taking the roster from Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3. There's still some missing characters in Sparking Zero as of right now. I know they added a lot of characters, don't get me wrong about that, but, there is still a lot of missing characters. Number 2, the maps. So the maps, when they first came out, right, they were good for what they were. I still hope that if they do add maps, they don't charge for them, but honestly, bro, what am I talking about? They are going to charge for them. It is what it is, though, but I would love for if those were free. I think those should be free, in my opinion, because, I don't know, I feel like there's so many maps in the movie. We have Broly, but, what would have been cool is if they added the map from the Broly movie, the fake Planet Vegeta. That would have been amazing if they added that in a map, and there's just so many maps from Super that we didn't get, so many maps from, from Dragon Ball, so many type of areas that we could have used. It would have been cool if they really wanted to, right? Take some of the OG maps from Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and 2 to add in there. That's something they could have done. I'm not sure if they will do it, but they still can. But there was that the online. There's been a lot of issues there. I know a lot of people complain about that. So that there has been a lot of stuff that's been going on with Sparking Zero. This is one thing that's normal, is that when Sparking Zero first came out, it had 1 million people on it on Steam, but then after, I would say, a week or two, it went all the way down 20,000, something like that, which, you guys, I'll be honest, that's pretty normal with those type of games. You see that type of stuff all the time. So I'm not shocked by that, because I guarantee you those type of games, you see more or less a lot of it on the console side where people are still playing. I mean, like I said, I still see a lot of people playing and uploading it. I will say one thing though is that with Afro and rhyme style, like they were talking about how like like this is gonna be the generational game. This is gonna be the game where like 1,000 hours. Don't get me wrong, they made a lot of content on it, right? But I think that they kind of jump. One thing I've noticed about it, because I haven't watched Afro in like a while. I did check on his videos now to see, and he did upload a lot of Spark and Zero videos. They did it extremely well. Same with Rhymestyle. But I think Rhymestyle uploading other types of videos, right? But I will say one thing: C-Reax is probably the realest one out because he still, even though he loves Spark and Zero, the content was amazing, right? We didn't get enough of that one intro him and Dotto and Rhymestyle would do, and especially even Afro. Everyone was doing the same intro, like like what was it? I think now with the release of Dragon Ball Spark and Zero, you remember the intro, right? So C-Reax, no matter what, he said he's excited for this game and he loves it, but Xenoverse 3, like let's not act like Xenoverse 3 isn't a game where most people won't buy it and won't play it, like, right? I think Spark and Zero has its own fan base now. It always did. It always has the Budokai Tenkaichi fans, right? But one thing about it is that I think a lot of people put too much into the game to think that it was going to do. I think Spark and Zero did an amazing job for what it was. I think it gave a lot of people what they're looking for Dragon Ball games for a while. It gave me a lot of stuff. I mean, honestly, I was having a lot of fun with it. I still do. So I think for some people, they kind of like overhyped it. And then, then you got the people who are like, oh, I knew Spark and Zero was going to flop. It's a flop. Now, it's not a flop. It's honestly, I just think that there's some issues that need to be worked on. And that's about that. I think DLC, I think content needs to be more introduced in the game. I think they need to lay a roadmap for the game itself, because if you don't have a roadmap for those type of games, you don't really know, because then your fans don't know what they should expect in the coming years, in the coming months. You know what I mean? So like it would be good to have a roadmap. I know we saw about the Daima DLC coming, right? And same thing with Kakarot's getting Daima DLC too. Again, like I said, I don't like when they rush to like all this new shit. I would love for Kakarot as well to focus on like the movies, like more DLCs in the movie and stuff like that. That would be good, right? I'm gonna be honest, like Dragon Ball games since 2020. Yeah, 2020, bro. We have been getting a constant flow of games from Kakarot, Breakers, and Xenoverse 2 got a lot of DLC. Kakarot got DLC. Then we got Spark and Zero revealed in 2023 as well. So like, dude, we got a lot of stuff. And then 2024, Spark and Zero drops. I think there's this one divide that people have. It's that there's people who love the game. There's people who never bought the game. There's people who bought the game and only played it for a little while, and then they're like, oh, the game sucks. Which I feel like in a way, if you bought a game, right, and you only play it for a little bit, how can you say it sucks? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you were really hyped for it, and then when you bought it, it's like, oh, I haven't played it. It's just because you haven't played it. I don't think the game is bad in any sense. I think the game just, as of right now, I think people are looking for more content from the game. That's my thing about it. That's what I'm looking for, more content. I would love to see that, right? I would love to see new maps. I would love to see more DLCs implemented, more characters added to the game. It'd be nice to see that. Just a roadmap would be nice. And then there's people who, are just asking about what the next Dragon Ball game is going to be like. Because I do think that there is going to be a Spark and Zero 2, but I don't see it coming out anytime. I would say a Spark and Zero 2 could come out possibly a 2029, even a 2030. I don't see it coming out anytime soon. I think right now the next game that a lot of people, whether you like it or not, because C-Reax, I'll say right now, Afro and Rhyme. I will say one thing is, look, I could have sworn, I think Rhyme said he's like, yo, I'm like kind of glad it wasn't Xenoverse and like, this and that. Or I think Afro said he wasn't glad, we had B coming out. So we had a whole bunch of people, but like now all of a sudden, like people like, damn, like where's Xenoverse 3 at? Like, look, I'm happy about Spark and Zero. And I also wanted Xenoverse because, dude, I love Xenoverse. That's like, I'm pretty sure, like, Xenoverse 2 made a lot of people, like, Xenoverse 1 especially, right? That literally brought back the Dragon Ball games, if I'm going to be honest with you. That game really changed a lot. So I think now a lot of people shit on that game because when it first launched, the servers had an issue. But still, we're not going to forget about what the game did. I think Xenoverse is what a Xenoverse for a while, right? We didn't see Dragon Ball games hitting no million sold, none of that. When Xenoverse came out, it sold 1 million. Like, that game physical was hard to buy. because of how many people are buying it, right? So the one thing is that I think people forgot, like, that game has a steady fan base on it. Like, it has a, I think like the game in total has sold, what is it? Yeah, I think like 10 million copies in total. I mean, DLCs wise, I did not want any more DLC from the game, to be honest with you. I just want a Xenoverse 3, and I want them to fix the issues with Xenoverse itself, right? The Xenoverse 2, like I said, that is an arena fighter that everyone enjoys. You know, it's an online arena fighter we all enjoy, because like that's like something everyone like wants, right? A lot of these big YouTubers that we've been watching for years, their channels are built off that. Like, I'm not gonna, like, let's not act like we didn't watch Rhyme Style and, you know, see reactions, like the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 raids and stuff. That shit was awesome. I loved watching those, right? So I do hope that we get a Xenoverse 3. I do hope that, you know, Spark and Zero gets more content. I hope that it has a roadmap where they are constantly letting you know, at least like every other, like at least within a year, they show you what's going to be coming within 2020, at the end of 2025, early 2026, maybe even 2027. I would love to see that. More characters out. I will be there. I'll be playing. I just don't think the game's a flop. I think that a lot of people are looking for the next game now. A lot of people are looking for a Kakarot DLC. A lot of people are looking for Kakarot 2. A lot of people are looking for, you know, Xenoverse 3. I'm looking for all of it, to be honest. I'm not against any of it. I will be there for all the games. So, you know what I mean? That's just me. But yeah, you know, like, I will say that a lot of us, because you have to understand, is a lot of us didn't even know if we ever would get a Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Like, a lot of us didn't even know how a Budokai Tenkaichi 4 would be, considering how the games were, you know, playing. Because after Budokai Tenkaichi 3, right? Because every Dragon Ball game, they've always had their own uniqueness from, you know, I feel like the most hated game is Ultimate Tenkaichi. I really didn't like it. I mean, the game is beautiful, right? But the game was bad. It was not good. I think my overall favorite game from those years was Burst Limit. Like, Burst Limit, guys, you do understand that Burst Limit was the first game where we actually saw an interaction between Goku and Bardock, right? That was like one of the coolest things ever to see. You know, we have all these little fan made stuff at that time, right? It was like 2008 or something like that. That was around the time when, like, we never, like, the video games always had that extra thing that the anime never showed, the manga never showed. It always had its own little thing. So with Spark and Zero, right, we didn't know. Some of us just gave up hope on Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Some of us, because we don't know how it would play. Like, how would you make that now? Like, how would it be, right? But when it came out, I think it did exactly what a lot of people wanted it to be. I just think that right now, you know, with people, I think the way people, how they move on from games so fast, I think certain people, like, because one thing I'll say is that there's a one crowd that will end up buying this game, and it was a crowd that, you know, they played Budokai Tenkaichi on the PS2, and a lot of them loved it, you know, and some of them probably did not end up buying any of the Dragon Ball games after that, right? That's the crowd that I saw buy this game and got in this game, and you know, typically that crowd, they'll play the game for like a good month or two, and they're most definitely be off of it, and that's not anything new. That's kind of normal when you see that, right? So I think one thing I can say for surely is that with Spark and Zero 2, right? There is a chance for them to change a lot of stuff and do things better. There's even a chance for them to change a lot of stuff right now. So I would say that with a lot of people speaking up, right, talking about the game, you could see some changes happening over time. I'm pretty sure that we will most definitely get some new maps, maybe some more characters. We already see what the Daima DLC is going to be, right? But overall, right now, it's just that you have a divide as to a lot of people, because you have to understand is that you have the Xenoverse fans, you have the Kakarot fans, you have the Spark and Zero fans now. You have 3 fan bases all fighting each other, because one fan base believes the one game's good and the other fan base thinks that game's bad, that game's good. You really don't fucking know. I really don't give a fuck. I love all the games. I'm enjoying them personally. I have not touched the Xenoverse 2, I would say, in 3 years. I've not touched it. I'm gonna be honest with you, because there's really nothing to do in that game. It's boring as hell. Like, I honestly want a Xenoverse 3. Like, I'm saying the whole, like, after playing Spark and Zero, I'm happy. I'm glad what we got. And now I would love in a Xenoverse 3. You know, I would love that. I'm a fan of the Xenoverse series. Like, that game literally, like, that game brought back Dragon Ball games. You know what I mean? It made a lot of people's careers. And Xenoverse 2 made a lot of people's careers. Like, we're not going to forget what that game did. So, you know, and also Spark and Zero, literally, it made, and I'm not going to forget what Spark and Zero did for my channel either way. Like, it made my channels, like, to this day, from shorts, from YouTube videos, Sparking Zero literally was one of the best things to happen to my channel because it helped me build a community. So, I'm not gonna forget my first game was Xenoverse 2 when I uploaded my very first video. It's in a Xenoverse 2, raid. So, at the end of the day, man, I do hope that with a lot of people saying the game's a flop, the game's this, the game's that. Look, man, I don't think the game's a flop. I think that certain people just like to trash on the game because, it's something to say, because some people just don't like it because they're a fan of that series, that game, whatever the case might have been. But we're not going to ignore that this game was not, like, we're not going to act like this game wasn't fire when it first came. We're not going to act like the game isn't fire right now. Like, we could take away all the issues, right, that we talk about, but the game's still good. So that's my whole take on it. I think a lot of content creators kind of did overhype it too much. Like, not over, when I say overhype, I mean that a lot of content creators, they talked as if like they were going to be uploading on this game for like 5-8 years and stuff like that. I didn't see that. You know what I mean? There's always that time when you are going to play a game for a minute. You might even make like 6 months worth of content, 8 months, maybe even a year or two. But, some of them are making it seem like it's going to be like infinite content. And it could be. But some of them that say that, you don't see that from them, right? So, that was my whole take on it. I don't think the game's a flop. I think the game just has some issues. I think the game can learn from it. I think the developers can definitely learn from the community and their feedback. Again, a roadmap would be amazing for the game. And as for the next Dragon Ball game, like I said, I would take a Xenoverse 3. I'm happy with, Sparking Zero. I'm ready for what the next one is too. So we'll see what they do with the next Dragon Ball game, whatever it may be. And as for DLC, whatever comes out of Sparking Zero, we will see. Especially with Kakarot, we will see. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know down below your thoughts on Sparking Zero. What do you feel about it? Do you still play it? And just what are your issues with the game? What is it you want to see change from it? Like you know what I mean? Just let me know down below. Like, what are your thoughts on this whole? Because it's been like, I had to make this video because I was seeing Twitter today and like everyone talking about it. Like, it's just like whatever the case might have been, right? So I just think that I want to hear what you guys think. So, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy, play games, have fun, go out, and enjoy life. Stay sane and never lose hope. Peace.